Hey, what's going on everyone? In today's video, I'm going to show you how to add a straight pull handle to your HPA Vsr-10. This can be used for faster follow-up shots or to give your airsoft rifle a sleek look. For starters, you want to make sure that you have the electronic Wolverine Bolt. This is the first bolt that Wolverine came out with that uses a micro trigger switch and battery. I highly recommend that you have this engine for a straight pull mod and not the Bolt M. For this project, you'll need some tools such as a cutting and grinding wheel or Dremel, a drill or drill press and bits, as well as some rethreading tools. I will go more into detail about specific sizes during each step as I use the items during this video. There is also a complete list in the description if you want to use exactly what I use for this project. So, let's get started. The first thing you can do is disassemble your rifle to this point. If you do not know how to do so, I strongly encourage you to learn. But you want to remove the nozzle of the Wolverine Bolt so you can install a spring. Needle nose pliers will get the job done, but I like to use my fancy Vsr-10 cylinder head tool. The proper spring should be 1.5 to 2 inches long and easy to compress with your fingers. Other than that, it just has to fit over the nozzle and inside of the cylinder. Adding this spring will allow the bolt to return on its own after you rack it for each shot. It keeps tension inside of the cylinder so the nozzle returns forward consistently into the hop-up chamber and bucking. Now it's time to start chopping shit up. There are many ways to do this, and I'm going to show you a few options. The first and cheapest, providing you have the tools, is to modify your stock bolt handle. If you haven't already, remove this screw so the bolt handle and end cap can come off. Set the end cap aside for later. You want to cut the majority of the bolt handle off the base. For a reference, I cut around here, so there was a lot of material left on this section for tapping threads. Take your time cutting off the bolt handle section. Once you are done, it may look a little rough. I decided to use a grinder with some cookie discs to clean it up a bit. Be careful, this piece will now most likely be hot. Use an air nozzle or dunk your creation in some water before handling. Next up, you want to drill and tap a hole. In this video, I'm using a 4mm drill bit for an M4 screw. So mark your handle base, or whatever you want to call it, in the middle of the thickest section. We want to drill here because it will allow more threads for a longer screw. A center punch is a great tool to guide the drill bit initially. Once you are marked and ready to go, try to hold or mount your handle base as straight and level as possible. Carefully drill into the center until the bit goes all the way through. Hopefully you drilled the hole straight enough. Too late now. So hey, grab your tap and thread that bitch. Sorry, what I meant to say was, proper lubrication will make the threading process so much smoother. For an aluminum part like this, I'm just using engine oil. Run your tap all the way in and back out. It should be easy to turn by hand. Next, you want to clean out all of the metal shavings from drilling and tapping. I just use brake clean and a blowgun. Then for a finishing touch, it's not a bad idea to add a coat of paint. Make it look pretty and let the paint dry before the next step. If you have a heat gun or hairdryer, it can speed up the process enough to handle your threaded masterpiece. Once the paint is dry, grab your straight pull knob of choice. I personally like using fluted charging handles from tacticalink.com. I put a link in the description, but just so you know, there are many colors and styles, so check them out. Anyway, you can now screw your knob to your threaded base. You need a screw that fits inside of the knob, and it obviously needs to match the threads you tapped. Make sure that your screw is the proper length. You want enough threads to firmly attach the knob to the base, but you do not want the screw to be too long and be sticking down right here. So, bolt your knob down, throw your new handle on, and tighten your end cap. But wait, there's more. Another thing you can do is install a spacer first. One that is about 15mm long, which should be just enough to clear the back of the receiver. Throw on your spacer, then your knob, then your end cap. You now have an ambidextrous charging handle for your Vsr-10. You simply just loosen the end cap, flip your handle to the other side, and tighten the end cap back down. At the beginning of this video, I mentioned there are many ways to do this mod, so the options don't end here. Another thing you can do for a cleaner, more solid and low profile look is cut a short section of aluminum tube. It should sit against the back of the cylinder and flush or a little past the end cap hole. Cut it, clean it up, mark where you want the knob to sit, and drill a hole larger than your screw this time. Then, if you really want to do it this way, drill and tap the actual cylinder tail. You should really remove the cylinder for this. It would be much easier to chalk it up and assure a straight hole. But I don't give a shit, so here we go. Somehow I managed to drill a straight hole. Same as before though. Clean it up, paint your part, slide it in place, but this time you thread through the sleeve and into the cylinder. You can use something else for a low profile end cap too. One last thing before we wrap up this video, I just want to point out that you could mount 2 knobs if you really wanted to. So hey, play around with it, build something cool, and get out to the field. I hope this video helped you learn something. Please check out my other content, and hopefully I'll see you around.